Good evening there, and welcome to a Elite FPL Call-In special podcast with myself, Mr. Ball, back in action, and my good friend, Mr. Robinson, aka Jason. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Dan?
Yeah, really good, really good. Enjoying all this transfer news and pre-season friendlies and all the season bubbling up. But yes, we're ready to take your calls in the Discord, and obviously if you join us in the live chat as well, please say hello and tell us how you're getting on with sorting out your draft teams. Have we got any of the regulars in the chat at the moment, Jason?
Yeah, we've got some of the regulars in the chat. We've got, let me have a look actually, because our chat's covered up. We've got Clement LaRue in chat. We've got Lotmer FPL. We've got Vince Chapman. Neil Kernahan is in chat as well. We've got Alex Summerson, Steve Bull Stanfield, Ramsey Sinclair, Resi Desi 11, and many more in the chat for this, what are we calling this? FPL Call-In podcast.
Elite FPL Radio Call-In.
No.
What do you mean?
Elite FPL Call-In. We call it FPL
Elite
Call-In.
FPL Call-In. But it feels like an FPL radio show. Obviously, Steve-O's been doing a great job getting loads of podcasts out every day, taking your calls, looking at your teams, giving his advice where he can, speculating ahead of the season. So please do obviously join us in the Discord and join the waiting room, and we'll basically be able to come onto the show, talk through your team. We'll give you our opinion. You'll get the opinion from the chat as well. So yeah, I'll be excited to hear from you guys. Obviously something completely new that we're doing this season. But yeah, some interesting transfer news over the last few days. I think I'll kick us off with that. Trippier going to Atletico Madrid. So an Englishman in Spain in La Liga. As far as the only English player playing in the major 5 leagues abroad. I think I'm right in saying that. I could be wrong. But what do you think about that, Jason? Because he was quite a good asset from time to time.
Well, if he hasn't got a basic grip of Spanish, I think it's now time for him to get a Spanish teacher. It's been on the cards for a little while now, him going across the sea to Spain. But I think a lot of questions at the moment with Trippier going is who's going to be there in the right back for Spurs. And I see Steve-O's posted a picture up there in Discord. It just came up. Hello, Steve-O. I don't know if he's actually tuning in at the moment. He said he might try to. I don't recognise the guy he's with, though. Do you recognise that guy? Don't know if you can see him. No, I don't know. Anyone in chat might recognise him. Yes. Walker Peters, question mark. Aurier, question mark. I know he's injured. Are Spurs going to get someone else in? I think Boona was on about Spurs possibly looking to sign somebody for the deadline. What's your thoughts, chat, about Spurs right back position now Trippier's gone? Boona's happy that he's gone in chat, apparently. I didn't think Trippier was that bad a player, to be honest. Decent at set pieces. Was bombing it down the right-hand side. I think you could do a lot worse than Kieran Trippier in your team. What's your thoughts, Dan, as an Arsenal fan?
Yeah, I mean, Trippier, it's tricky because he had such a great World Cup. And obviously saw all those games, and he was brilliant for England in the World. He was probably England's best player, in my opinion, going back to last summer. But from what I see last season, he didn't have the best of seasons, and defensively sometimes he was getting exposed. So I think Tottenham have sold him with a view to getting a better right back in there. We've got Aurier in, but I think FPL Boone is probably going to we're probably going to agree on something Spurs related, which will be an interesting one. But yeah, Aurier's not the best. I mean, he's a good backup, but he can have these sort of erratic, rash tackles that he runs into and concedes penalties and whatnot. So I think Spurs will be looking to get a new right back in. So it'll be very interesting. But Walker Peters, that is an interesting one last season. Come in some games. I think in one game he got a couple of assists. I think it was against Bournemouth. At Wembley, and Tottenham won 5-0, and he came in and did really well. So, maybe he'll get a chance. Who knows?
Who knows? Sorry about the breakups, guys. It's my I'm switching out screens at the moment. I think that's caused a bit of a hiccup in the stream there. So So yeah, as Dan said, we're looking to get a few people on. We're going to just discuss a few topics this evening. There's been I think Ryan in Discord put up an amazing post earlier on with loads of really good topics that I want to cover. I want to talk about Haller as well now. Is he going to be an option for West Ham? We've all been trolled by Felipe Anderson and Ortovic last season. Finally, have we got a potential gem in this Bundesliga star Haller, who's been quite prolific in the Bundesliga behind Jovic? Who knows? I've got a keen eye on him. I'm not normally quite excited about West Ham players, but I am going to have him on my radar. How about you, Dan?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. As I say, 45 million. He got 20 goals in 41 games last season, 15 goals in the league and 9 assists in the league as well. So he had involvement in 24 goals. Only Robert Lewandowski having more involvement in goals in the Bundesliga as a striker last season. So a big signing for West Ham, really. Obviously, Arnautovic, that guy's gone. I'm sure, in a way, I think West Ham fans are going to be glad about that because didn't have the best attitude as much as he was a talented player for them. So I'd just be interested to see what chat think about his value, how much he's going to be coming in at. I'm going to guess 7.5 million. That's my guess. So if you're in chat at the moment, let us know what you think his
I'm going to go 7. Going to go 7 million. I can't see him being any lower than 7.
Yeah, I mean it's a massive signing for West Ham. Be nice if Arsenal followed suit and got some players in. Seems like a lot of other teams like Leicester getting in Perez, obviously Tielemans. That's an interesting one. A lot of people talking up Leicester. Yeah, I think there's a lot of a hype train for Leicester this season.
There is a hype train. They're looking quite potent now in attack. Perez mentioned quite a lot yesterday. I just think, I think that you'd be a fool to ignore Leicester at the moment. To be honest, I started off with Vardy as an option, but now I'm thinking maybe I should probably invest in Perez really in midfield and look at maybe freeing up something. Look at my attacking line. Maybe bring Haller in for a bit of a punt. I don't know. I'm not sure, but Leicester. I think they'll start the season well. Under Brendan Rodgers, I think they'll be well versed. But I also want to bring up a question that was asked in Discord about Bernardo Silva being at 8 million. Is he a good way into the Man City midfield? Obviously, we know that Pep likes him. He played him a lot of games last season. He's quite a gifted player. Gets himself about quite a bit. Gets on the assists. What's your thoughts, Dan?
Very good player, very improved player last season for Man City. Was really strong in the second half of the season, and obviously every FPL manager out there was worried about the Pep roulette, that plagued us all last season when Sterling was getting dropped. We played Aguero, so it seemed like Bernardo Silva was kind of a real favourite of his, and you just need that security of starts. It would be interesting whether people will double up on Man City assets in the midfield. I mean, all my draft teams have had Sterling in, and I'm pretty sure that Sterling's nailed on in my squad. I don't know about you, but Sterling's nailed on. So I suppose you could go Sterling and Silva, considering Man City's fixtures for the first opening 6 are really good as well. So I think, it'd be good value. I mean, I've seen a lot of people going for De Bruyne, because, obviously he's a guy that can produce with the assists, but perhaps just to save that 1.5 million, Bernardo Silva could be a better option, and the security of starts he seems to have. But I think once again with these pre-season games coming into sort of kicking in at the moment, that could be a good way to weigh it up. There'll be the Community Shield as well, so that'll give us a good insight closer to the time. But I think it could be good value, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love Bernardo Silva. While I've watched him play, I just think that with City, obviously now with De Bruyne being back, obviously David Silva probably be playing a little bit less minutes, you'd imagine. there's going to be a bit of a fight going on there for positions. Sane's obviously not gone yet, or he's not looking likely to go. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a merry-go-round in terms of Man City midfield. But you'd imagine that Sterling would be quite a solid pick in that midfield, and De Bruyne when fit. You can't see Pep leaving De Bruyne out for that many games this year. Got some questions in chat. The new setup looks unreal, says Vince Chapman. Thank you ever so much, Vince. So I just want to say right now, because this is my first opportunity to say it on stream, I've got a guy in Discord who approached us a couple of days ago. His name's Alex Volo, and he's completely blown us away with his graphical ability to create amazing thumbnails and header art for the channel. So that's nothing to do with me, guys. That's all Alex. Really appreciate his work. So big up to Alex, and he's just likes the podcast, wants to support the podcast, can ask for more really. Vince Chapman says Jason Haller week 1 minus 16 game week 2. Yeah, well, Alex Volo is actually in chat right now. And Alex Volo, our graphic designer, is asking a question to you, Dan, saying, what's your thoughts about Reece Nelson this season?
He's bumper cart Nelson. Do you know what? I'd love to see some of the younger players get a chance at Arsenal, because I do feel a bit disillusioned at the moment. He had a really good spell on loan in Germany. Can't remember the team, but he did have a good impact there. Another thing as well, he's been Arsenal's new away kit. He's been in some of the images for that. So I know that's a bit of a away thing, but surely that suggests that he's going to be involved. Maybe, I don't know. Could be reading too much into it, but yeah, could be someone. It would be, a wait and watch, see how he does. But he's got promise. Let's see how he does in pre-season. We've got Bayern Munich coming up, which will be a tough pre-season game. Hopefully we don't lose 5-1. As Mr. Jules says, though, history can repeat itself with the Bayern Munich games. But we've lost 5-1 to them 3 times. But Reece Nelson, yeah, definitely one to watch. But
you kind of having to, you really need to have these young players coming through for Arsenal at the moment, because he's not really seeming to be breaking into the transfer market, at least on a serious level at the moment.
Well,
unless Arsenal Fan TV can get Kroenke to get out his checkbook. I mean, Zaha, do you think there's any mileage in that? Do you think it's going to happen?
I actually saw an Arsenal fan in town today, and he just always moans at me about Arsenal, like as if I'm in charge or something. But he was just saying he thinks Tierney will get done, because David Ornstein, respected journalist for BBC Sport, saying Sabala, I think it is. We're getting in centre back, but then we're loaning him back. Zaha, I don't know. I mean, Emery today has come out and said that there's going to be very big, expensive signings, big signings. So he's setting himself up for a fall.
You definitely need to bulk up that defence, though, don't you? To be fair, I mean that was where the weakness was last year. We all know that you've got a great attack. It's just if you're conceding goals, you're going to be in for a bad time.
Yeah, I think it's like the setup of the team. I mean, that Europa League final was just horrible to watch. I think it's the way the team's set up defensively, to go from like being at a tight game 0-0 against Chelsea, having lots of chances, and then Chelsea score 3 goals in 20 minutes. I mean, in terms of my team last season, I didn't get many Arsenal players in. Kolasinac was one to get in, not for the clean sheet bonus points, but obviously for the assists, just because he keeps bombing down that wing. But he's not the best defensively. We've been linked with different players. I'd like to see Tierney in. He's got a good record in the Scottish League for assists, and is a promising young defender. People keep comparing him to Robertson, but just because he's Scottish doesn't mean he's going to be as good as Robertson. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's like the most expensive defender on the game. But I just wake up every day and I just hope to see a signing.
Some good news.
I mean, we got this Martinelli that scored his goal, but I don't know, clutching at straws. But we will see.
Well, you've always got a Wobie to rely on, haven't you? On the left wing. I mean, he runs with the ball. He's a frustrating player to watch, Iwobi. He runs with the ball, but he does that. To me, he just doesn't seem to have any end product. He runs with it, and he runs and runs, and then it's almost like he gets to close to the byline, and he's like, right, what do I do now?
Well, it's funny because obviously he seems to have done quite well for Nigeria in the Africa Cup of Nations. But yeah, I actually had him in one of my early drafts because was he 6 million just because of his potential. He got 6 assists last season and he just gets in the right position. He scored a brilliant goal in that Europa League final, but he just he seems to panic when he gets in that final third. He's got a lot of good skill and technique, good aggression, but it's just getting into that final third. I think if he could just, just focus on, relax in that moment, get a few more goals. So I don't know.
I think he tries to rush things, doesn't he, a little bit too much, like you said.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
But what I was going to mention as well, there was obviously a friendly today, Man United Leeds, which is never really a friendly. But yeah, obviously 4-0 to United, and Mason Greenwood getting on the goals there. Now Solskjaer said that he could start for the first game of the season against Chelsea. What do you think of that?
I mean, to be honest, you can never rule it out. But like I was saying to you off air, Solskjaer for Mulder was actually quite bigging up quite some of their players during the first half of the season before, and they just fizzled out and just didn't appear. So it's one of those where Solskjaer, I think he's trying to just build the confidence of this young man up a little bit. Let him know that he's in contention to be in the starting 11 for Man United. Make him feel like he's got a role there. And if he carries on pre-season the way he's doing, and there's no reason why he wouldn't perhaps give him the start. I've not been convinced of Martial. Pogba looked good. Pogba looked really good actually. Fed some beautiful passes through. I just think that Greenwood is on. He's a young lad and he's got every chance of being in that starting 11 against Chelsea. Just needs to get his head down, not let it get to it, not get not get too big-headed. None of this. I mean, it is interesting because if you could get Greenwood in for 4.5 as an enabler, and if he plays, then you can obviously get in like Jamie Vardy or Lacazette or whoever else you want to get in for a more premium forward line. Yeah.
So, I mean, another one I was considering, and I know Steve mentioned this a few podcasts ago, was Origi. Now, Liverpool beat Tranmere 6-0 last week. And Klopp was saying after the game, so obviously the Brazilians have finished their 13-month season. Because obviously Brazil got, they won the Copa America against Peru 3-1.
Yep.
And, I mean, obviously Mane for Senegal has done very well. Congratulations to them. Got to the final of the Africa Cup of Nations. So Mane could be a doubt for game week 1. Some of the Brazilians, for Firmino, could be a doubt for Liverpool. Could Origi get in against Norwich? I think it could happen. I think it really could.
I think it could happen as well, to be honest with you. I like Origi. I think he did really well in the Champions League for Liverpool, and I think that could definitely see Firmino and even Mane rested or reduced minutes, and that opens the door for Origi. And I mean, I think the main issue is a lot of people are going to have 2 Liverpool defenders. They're going to have 2 or 3 Liverpool players anyway. I know a lot of teams I've seen have got the double up of Trent, either Trent and TAA or TAA and Van Dijk. With Salah in midfield, I think it'd be fool not to go with Salah. So do you want to use that? You want to lose that defender slot and bring in Origi, or it's one of those. It's like it's straying away from the template, isn't it? So it's just going away from the template, looking at your 1 and 2 differentials that you're looking to bring in. Like people are going to be going for like the likes of Perez. We talked about Haller earlier on. We've got absolutely no evidence of him in the Premier League, but he's did really well in the Bundesliga. He seems to be a seasoned player playing in an attacking team. It could easily turn out to be a great move. We just don't know what's going to happen with Zaha. If he stays at Palace, he's going to stay in my team. I want him in my team if he's at Palace. I can see him getting the penalties for Crystal Palace and Milivojevic converting them quite easily. But yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say it's a bad move bringing Origi in. I just think it's a risky move, which is, I mean, it's an obvious risk move.
How long are you going to keep him for as well? That's the other thing. It just becomes like an enabler and it just sort of doesn't free up funds. But what are people in chat saying about our transfer discussion and speculation?
Yeah, so David's in chat is talking about Perez scoring in a friendly today. Absolutely. Scunthorpe, you scored the winner against Scunthorpe away. Yes, Gunny. And I mean, yeah, it's like I think somebody linked the match report or something in Discord, and it was just like every other word was mentioning Perez's name. So yeah, it's definitely looking like he's hitting the ground running. I don't want to I don't want to hype him up too much and go over the top with him. We've still very early, still early days. One preseason game against Scunthorpe. Just calm down a little bit and just wait for the next few games. Just assess. We've got that time. We've got those games to watch and make those decisions, because you just don't know what's going to happen between now and game week 1. You know, it's going to be a lot of news, and a lot of transfer speculation, and a lot of surprise and shock transfers. There's going to be some bargains coming in. We also had a mention about Hanley being a bargain 4 million defender. What's your thoughts on that?
Horrible fixtures. Horrible. I remember Hanley. He used to play for Blackburn back in the day in the Premier League. He was a right fuck. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I read up that he's going to be probably second or third choice anyway. I think it's beyond Zimmerman and another one. I can't remember his name now off the top of my head. But yeah, I don't think Hanley is going to be. I don't think he's going to be the Wan-Bissaka of 2019-20. I think that there's probably better value to be found elsewhere. I'd probably go Kelly over Hanley, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Kelly seems to sound better. I mean, we had a caller in the other day with Steve-O, El Mohammadi. He was touting up his ability because obviously he's plays for Villa now. He used to play for Hull. I forget what national team. Is it Morocco that he plays for? I don't want to get any more national teams wrong because I got Digne wrong. I was so convinced that he was Spanish.
The Spanish Digne.
I was like, why can't he get in the Spain team?
There's a very valid reason why Digne can't get in a Spanish team.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he plays for internationally, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure someone in chat will be able to clarify.
But Egypt.
Oh,
everyone's saying
sorry.
Egypt. There we go.
Sorry, Egypt fans. Yeah, that is quite a glaring error.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I need to watch more African Cup Nations football. But yeah, he could be an option at 4.5 million. But it's finding those budget options in defence, isn't it? Like last season, you know, your Kiko Firminas, your Doherty's, that, you know, his value just soared as the season went on, as we all know. So it is finding those value in those sort of cheaper defenders to help bulk your squad up a little bit.
Wan-Bissaka got an assist today. With the Maguire speculation, if he goes to United, are you going to think about United defenders? 5.5 is an absolute bargain if he does go.
Yeah, possibly. You just want me. Like, I feel like you want me to say yes because you want me to admit that United assets are worth owning. I'd still be more looking, you know, watching, see what Pogba does, or, you know, possibly Martial. But I just
Dan
don't
James,
like
mate.
yourself.
It's all about Dan James.
Yeah, that could be an interesting one. The attacking assets are more interesting.
He's rapid.
We could be overlooking United assets a bit, just because they had such a bad end to last season. You know, obviously the losing to Cardiff at home and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to dwell on that too much, but I just mentioned it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wan-Bissaka could be an option. Maguire, I mean, the money that's been touted for him is kind of insane. But if you've got Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, De Gea in goal, should be opportunities for more clean sheets in theory. But you've got to get that defence together early. It's not, you know, sign all these players. You've got to get the defence set up for the season, so they've got a system in place.
To me, I think who Solskjaer's going to start in defensive midfield is going to be a deciding factor for me as well, because I don't like Matic. So another one, Lucas Moura. Can Lucas Moura be the 1 week punt and be transferred out again in subsequent game weeks? Obviously, I think we're talking about Son's suspension. We can expect Lucas Moura to play. I think we've asked this question before. I think Boone has probably answered it as well. You can go with Moura, but I think the safe bet is probably not. I'm staying away from Spurs, to be honest with you. I know people have got Kane in their team, and I salute you for having Kane in your team. Like, could do you really well. But if you can fit him in as well as Sterling and Salah, then fair play to you. But I'm staying away from Spurs. So my answer to that, Lucas Moura, instead of having a more cheaper midfield, my answer would be no. What about you, Dan?
It does feel a little bit risky. That's the thing. I mean, obviously they've got that game at home to Villa. You kind of want some sort of coverage for that game, and the fixtures after that aren't too bad. He was a player that delivered last season, particularly at the start of the season, actually, Lucas Moura, to be fair, last season when he got some goals away. Sorry, I'm going to mention it again, but he got goals away to United. I just seem to remember all the fixtures.
Yeah, he that run, didn't he? Yeah. Was it Rojo? He absolutely did Rojo, didn't he? Yeah. He sat him on his ass, and yeah, it was good. It was a good goal, that, to be fair. Shouldn't have been allowed to score it, but it was a good goal. But I just want to talk about United again very briefly because it's been brought up in chat. Ramsey Sinclair says, I can't believe how many people are overlooking United. Their fixtures are great, and if any other team had those fixtures, people would be all over them. It's very sad to see people hate on United at the moment. I think they're not hating on United. I don't think, well, maybe they are hating on United, but it's just like people have got memories of last season and fresh in their brain. I mean, if we were to sign Maguire, and we've got Wan-Bissaka, and Wan-Bissaka played amazing. I know it's pre-season, shouldn't, but he's last season he was an immense asset for Palace. I think Palace are going to concede more goals this year. Honestly, write that down and quote me on it. They'll concede more goals this year. Joel Street in chat says Rashford being. I mean, I saw the highlights today against Leeds, and the Leeds aren't a pushover team. They're not Scunthorpe, and 4-0 was more than deserving. And Rashford looked really good. He dribbled past a few Leeds defenders into the box and slotted it past the keeper. I mean, looked really good. He's looking fresh. He looks composed. Absolutely, I agree with you, Richard S. in chat. He looked really composed. And it is a friendly. It is pre-season. But I mean, if he's got to be on people's thoughts. I mean, he is a good striker, and he's getting to that. Well, he's getting to that stage of his life now where he needs to be stepping up and being into his prime.
So I've just been. You guys might have noticed. I've just been on my phone. I'm on the FPL app at the moment, which is a bit dodgy, I have to say. If you guys use it, maybe you'll agree with me. If you want to, give your thoughts on that. I'm trying to select my team, but it's not letting me select my team. But regardless of that, they've got a nice little feature, player comparison. And I'm just looking now at Marcus Rashford. So 10 goals, 6 assists last season in 33 games. It's not bad. He was 7 million last season. I have to say, quite a few game weeks Rashford delivered for me, thinking back over the course of the season as a sort of mid-range price striker. So we could be overlooking them. And I think if Rashford does well once again in pre-season, could be an option, really. So and Lucas Moura, just going back to him, he got 10 goals last season as well. So it is easy, when players have these spells out or these bad patches, it's easy to forget, the good spell they had at the first part of the season. So and then I'm just sorry, I'm just looking at James Maddison. Sorry to harp on about Leicester City all the time, but 7 goals, 7 assists.
Dan, you can only have 3 Leicester City players in your team. So that was we've done. So Man United, watch this space. I can see they're going to be a sleeping giant. I think in terms of FPL, I think a lot of people are going to not think about them come early season when the wildcards are activated. It wouldn't surprise me if the likes of Rashford, Dan James, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire if he comes, or dare I say it, probably not De Gea because he's too expensive, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of those players are featured on the first early wild card. That just wouldn't surprise me. Can Pereira offer good value for his good run of fixtures? He usually starts well at the start of the season. Dan?
What is he? He's 6 million, isn't he? I think I'm right in saying.
Yes. Yes, he is, yeah.
I don't know. This is the thing I say about being burnt by last season. When you think about players, considering them for this season, and then you just think, I remember getting him in on a Sunday evening after our podcast because everyone was banging on about Leicester's good fixtures towards the end of the season. And I was like, right, I'm getting Pereira in. I think he got me like 1 assist in 4 or 5 game weeks. So I personally think for 6 million, there's better options out there. Azpilicueta, who's Spanish.
Yeah.
He could be one. And like you say, to get into the Man City defence, I think Laporte's obviously 6.5. So I'm not sure. I'd be. I know I've kind of contradicted myself because I was loving Leicester before, but nah, I don't know. I won't be getting Pereira in anyway. He'll probably bite me in the arse saying that, but no.
Yeah. So house music, in reply to your question, you need to join our Discord and find out there.
Yes.
We've got Rashford. Ryan McKenna says another wait and see for Rashford. Absolutely. It was 3 months of Pogba to Rashford joy. Yes. Vince Chapman. We should not ignore United and Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea. We've talked about Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
I must admit, I'll put my hand up now. I've not really been thinking about Chelsea, but that could easily change. But at the moment, they're not on the forefront of my mind. Many 6.5 mil mids or forwards offer better value than Pereira, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It seems to be this season of the 6.5s. Yeah.
Definitely. Have we got any callers? That's what I'm thinking, man.
So at the moment we've got no one in the waiting room. So if you want to join us on air right now, come and jump into Discord, come into the waiting room, and we'll get you on. You can talk about your team, you can talk about players. We just want to hear your opinions. We're going to be on for a little bit longer. Probably we don't want to be on for too long this evening. We just wanted to do a quick stream just to cover the points that we've covered, especially for Ryan and Discord. So if you do want to jump in, feel free. Do it now. We'll get you in.
Definitely. While we're waiting for that to happen, I've been playing around with drafts. I actually did one after we did our podcast a couple of weeks ago. So if I put it in Discord, can we get it up?
We can get it up.
Yeah, so where shall I put it then?
in your rating my team.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty obvious one. So yeah, like I said, I've been playing around with my team quite a little bit, and it's literally, guys, just a team to be kind when you look at this team, okay? So any other thoughts in chat whilst I'm looking for this?
Any other thoughts in chats? Bear with me, I'll find out. Name one from Chelsea that you'd bring in. Azpilicueta.
Giroud. No,
maybe
7 million.
Your mate Giroud.
My mate Giroud, that's such a Chelsea legend now, all of a sudden after playing for Arsenal for like 5 years. But no, I think Giroud could be, with those fixtures, like, because obviously Higuain's not coming back. And then, God, I can't remember his name, the Spanish striker they had.
Morata. Yeah.
It just completely went, but he's gone.
That prolific, you don't even remember his name.
Yeah, so I think
a bit like Falcao.
Yeah, Falcao, exactly. So yeah. Giroud, unless they sign another striker, and only got Batshuayi back. Obviously, he's been out on all these loans and whatever to Dortmund and Palace. So possibly get Giroud in. So I've just put my. After spending ages looking for it on Discord, I am still.
What's going on with it? What's going on with your screenshot, dude? It's gone all brown. We can make it out though.
That's all right. I've got my filter on at the moment.
He's got his filter. He's got his Instagram filter on. Everybody.
You put a filter on my team, but yeah, I think Giroud could be a good option. Azpilicueta.
Pulisic, I like it.
Pulisic, yeah.
Right, so
there's my option.
Well, you've got Pulisic in your draft.
Yeah.
So
I won't mention the player that I've got.
So you've got two Chelsea in your draft. You've got Azpilicueta and Pulisic. So you obviously think that Chelsea, away at United, you're not scared of that fixture. I've just said that United are now going to be a rock. They're not going to concede in the first 20 games. No, I'm joking. No, but seriously, I am surprised you chose two Chelsea though. Okay, fair enough. Talk me through it. Why did you go with Heaton in goal?
Heaton, with the goalkeeper situation, so I've just been looking for a fairly cheapish goalkeeper. I'm hoping Burnley will get back to their defensive resistance of the season before last, when they reached up to 6th place, and they'll get some clean sheet bonus points. But I have to admit, with my goalkeeper, whether this is a good or bad thing, I always kind of go for the cheapies, and I don't get that excited. I'm just like, yeah, just pick a goalkeeper and just get them in. I mean, Fabianski, possibly for the save points. But yeah, got Heaton in. And then, as you can see from my starting lineup, Trent, obviously explains itself, Digne and Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta got 6 assists the season before last, and United away. Look, that's going to be a tough fixture. I can see them conceding in that game, but after that, the fixtures for Chelsea aren't too bad, and I think he could be good value going in. I mean, with the way I've set my team up, I've changed it from previous seasons. I've always had like maybe one premium defender and then filled it up with budget defenders. But this season, I'll never forget your team for the first game week last season. What was it? You had like Mendy, Robertson. And Robertson, yeah, sorry. and I always do that. And Alonso as well.
I did, yeah, Alonso, yeah.
That was just like a power defence, and it really paid off. So,
102 points the first week, and 104 points the game week 2. That's just incredible for 2 game weeks. Score over 100. I don't think we'll see that again. Certainly not in my team anyway. We're going to say hello to Davey FPL in chat. Davey, 24-hour stream when you hit 1K.
You know it.
Well, I think Steve-O might be able to do it. I think out of all 3 of us, Steve-O's the one that you could probably rely on to do a 24-hour stream. Like that guy can do 3-hour streams and make it look like that. We're barely on an hour, and we're kind of flagging.
Do a 24-hour stream for charity. There you go.
For charity, yeah.
For charity, I'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do it at 10K.
Go mad. 10K, yeah. All right. When we get to 10K, we'll do 24-hour stream.
24-hour stream. Are we going to do it in all 3 of us, or are we going to do we're going to have to do baton runs, and we're going to have to pass the baton on after absolutely. But welcome Davey FPL to the stream, guys. You all know who Davey FPL is. He's a brilliant content creator. He's actually live streaming now. He did his first live stream the other day. Was really, really successful. Probably going to see some more of those streams coming up soon. So Davey, how are you getting on with your team? You've been tinkering since your last stream or video. Clement LaRue, would you rather Zaha versus Fraser? Zaha or Fraser? That's a good one. I'm going to steal that question. I'd rather have... that's a really good question. Zaha or Fraser, if I had to choose between the 2. Fraser.
I'll let you... I'm going to go Zaha. If he's I say if he stays at Palace, but if he's at Arsenal, be playing with better strikers.
If he's at Arsenal, no.
But I mean, going back to my team, I mean, this is like I said, this is a team last time we all 3 of us got together to do a podcast, which we will do again soon, guys. It's just getting everyone together at this time of the year at the moment. But I was just thinking about my team, and I was just like, I was up till like 11:30 just looking at my team, and I just picked these players, and looking back at it, it's not a bad team for a team that's just like quickly looking through. Salah, Richarlison, Sterling. I mean, Sterling, Salah, Trent are going to be dead certs in most people's teams. Very template there, but Richarlison, it's either him or Sigurdsson. But Pulisic at 7.5, I just fancy... I know I said this a lot on the podcast last season, but I just want to take more gambles. And I just feel, I don't know, I mean, they brought him in to replace Hazard, essentially. And as I said, Chelsea's fixtures aren't too bad after the United game away. So it would be quite brave to stay with him. I mean, they could, it's funny you said about Fraser, he's 7.5, so could get him in instead. That would be the safer option. But... it's tempting to take 1 or 2 little calculated gambles at the start of the season just to get ahead of the pack, rather than sort of chasing the pack. And then my mate Glenn Murray, which I seem to get a lot of stick for in the chat, but yeah, Glenn Murray, King, obviously on penalties, and then my other mate, De La Feu. If you're regular to this channel, you watched last season. You obviously remember my pain when I took out De La Feu before the away game to Cardiff. He gets a hat-trick and he gets an assist. Nobody else in my mini-league got him. And I get a message at about 10:30. Oh, why isn't De La Feu in your team? I'm just like... Oh.
I think if you stick with that team, that is a gamble, though. Like, I do like De La Feu, I must admit. I do like it. But Pulisic and Murray, for me, I mean, they're gambles. They're big gambles. And if you've got players... See, I'd rather take a gamble on Hella guy. I'd rather take a gamble on. I'd rather take a gamble on Dan James than Pulisic. But that might be a bias. But if I was going to take a gamble in midfield, it'd be on Dan James.
It would be nice to take a bit of a gamble. Obviously, I think a lot of people are going to load up with heavy hitting midfielders. That seems to be the trend: heavy hitting defenders, heavy hitting midfielders, and then you kind of mid-range / budget strikers. Calvert-Lewin is another one I considered as well. With Everton's good start to the season, but I just don't quite have the faith. I mean, Murray had a good scoring record at home last season, but it's just what games he'll play
and how many minutes. How many minutes he'll last as well? Will he last the 60 minutes?
Yeah, he's had 2 good seasons for Brighton, kept them up in the Premier League, but it is a bit risky. But it's fun to kind of experiment and risk about. I almost feel like I want to break away from a template team a little bit and have a bit of fun early in the season.
So I mean, we'll by all means, but don't if it comes crashing down. You've only got yourself to blame on that. So Einar is posted in the rate my team. Guys, you can post in there. We can take a look at your teams. That's going to be quite small for people to look at. He's got Van Dijk, Alexander-Arnold, Walker for Man City, Digne. Pretty. Other than Walker, pretty common back 4 there. Ederson in goal. So he's chose double up on Man City. Richarlison, Sigurdsson. Oh, interesting. Thoughts on that?
Sigurdsson, yeah. I mean,
and doubling up on Everton.
Yeah, I'm just zooming in. Sorry,
yeah, I know
what you mean.
He's screenshotted his computer, and it's quite small. But you got Salah captain. Surprise, surprise. You got Fraser in, Wilson, and King. So he's tripling up on Bournemouth, doubling up on Everton. Wow. That I mean, if it pays off.
Premium goalkeeper as well. Premium goalkeeper. I'm not sure about. It's an interesting one. He's got Walker here. Not the best for assists. I don't know if I'd have Walker in my team, to be honest with you.
I'd go Zinchenko over Walker.
Yeah. He's got Ederson in as well, but Richarlison and Sigurdsson.
He's tripled up on Everton, hasn't he?
I know, yeah. That's
tripled Everton, triple Bournemouth. Triple Everton.
You're putting a lot of faith in. Listen, you're putting a lot of faith in 2 teams.
4 teams. He's putting all of his faith in 4 teams. Man City, Liverpool, Everton, and Bournemouth. Like that.
But this is the thing. I'm literally just contradicting what I just said about my team going for risks, because he has taken a few risks. But I don't know how about having a double up on Bournemouth up front. Maybe just stick to one.
I like it. I like it because it's different. I like it because it's different. I do. It's different to the template, and I like it because of that reason. But it's risky. That's riskier than Dan's team. The players are great. I mean, King, Wilson, Fraser, individually having them in your team is good options. Tripling up on them is a risk. If any of these teams fail to score or blank, you're going to lose a lot of points. You haven't got those points spread out in your team. I would probably look at taking out an Everton and a Bournemouth player in that team personally. But that's my feedback. I think the chat will probably have their own opinions as well. It is risky though. But thank you for sharing your team. And I know he was. Yeah, we've got another one. Paul Gray has posted his team again. We've got Lloris in goal, which Tottenham, massively overlooked. He's got he's got 2 Tottenham players in this team. He's got a Lucas Moura as well, who we talked about. I think I like that team. I like it because it's got Aguero in it.
Aguero in. Yeah.
I like it. It's good. Yeah.
Sorry.
So
no. No, I mean, Aguero is just that safety feeling. I've got Aguero in my team. He's a world-class, proven Premier League striker, and you kind of can rely on him. That's the thing. Whereas if, with a lot of draft teams you see at the moment, like you said about my forward line, it's like, are you going to rely on these guys to get goals on a regular basis? So, once again, it's different. I like it.
Yeah,
I do. Perez like as well. Perez.
I've got he's got this thing is, going back to Aguero, I mean, there's a lot of people I've read on forums, on Reddit, and they're all saying, well, why would you want Aguero when you got Sterling at the same price? I mean, yes, but I don't know. I'm still undecided. I am actually still undecided between Aguero and Sterling. Who's going to score better?
So have we got anybody willing to come live on air and share their team with us? Because we're getting a lot of people screenshotting, but we want callers. We want people to ring in, tell us about their team, and explain their thought processes. That'll be awesome.
Absolutely. Don't be shy. We're only going to be on air for another 15-20 minutes. So shoot on. We'll talk about your team. Look forward to discussing what options you've got. We've got Yash Supernova's rated his team as well in the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, the link's in the description. If you don't know what Discord is, it's an app. You can get it for your phone, for your iPad, for your laptop, for your PC. You can join and have a chat with other people about fantasy football, and even come in and chat with us.
And you can chat with us. Yeah. So I mean, if any of these guys we'll look at these. We're just getting all these teams in now, but if any of you guys that are screenshotting your team and rate my team want to come and actually talk live on YouTube now about your team, you've got the opportunity. Just join us in the waiting room on Discord.
Yeah.
And then you'll be live on YouTube. You can tell all your mates about it. But because we've got the teams in, let's look at the next one.
Well, I just wanted to bring up Yash's team.
Yash Wadrin.
Yeah, Yash. I'm going to call him Yash. It's a lot easier. Ija. So I've just picked it up, and the first thing I see is a white triple captain on Salah at home to Norwich. Now, if you go ahead with that, that's balls of steel, my friend. I've got to give you massive respect. Yash, I expect you to hold true to your guns and do that triple captain Salah, and then show me a screenshot of those beautiful points come game week 1 after there's a 6-0 win versus Norwich or something. I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, that's the first thing I see. So we'll start at the back. Pope in goal.
Yeah, it's a good. I'm just looking at this team. Sorry, and I'm just thinking it's a pretty damn good team, actually. Okay, so Pope in goal, fine, and then, as you say, Trent, Robertson, not Robinson, Coleman, and Shevchenko as well. What do you think about Shevchenko? Do you think fancy him to get some good returns this season?
Shevchenko. What season are we in now? Does he? I don't see any Chelsea players.
9:30. It's not easy to pronounce his name at the end of the day. He's not. Shevchenko is not a household name as far as I know at the moment. But
Zinchenko.
Zinchenko.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't worry about Trippier's Spanish. Worry about my English. But I mean, I'm sure FPL Boona was talking about quite a bit when he joined us on the podcast a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he's in my draft.
Strong. I mean, that defense out of 10, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. What would you give it?
I don't want Pope in my team, and I don't want Coleman in my team. I'd rather go Digne over Coleman.
So the extra 0.5 though, isn't it? That's the thing.
Maybe Pope. I don't know. Pope's alright. Actually, thinking about it, yeah, okay. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. That defense.
Wow. Harsh.
What?
Have to be. Keep forgetting how high you finished last season.
So
to me.
So yeah, I mean, Coleman could end up being a great asset, but I just think that for a little bit more, you can get Digne in. Salah triple captain. Just mind blowing. Go for it, man. Go for it. Good luck. I'll be hiding behind the sofa just for you. Sterling. We all. Let's talk about Sterling. Why has he chose Sterling? Come on.
Why wouldn't you choose Sterling?
Absolutely.
After the season he had last season.
Absolutely.
And how he's like a focal point of Man City's team. Is just, of course.
Yeah, there's no surprises. Absolutely no surprises. Lucas Moura, though, is a surprise. Another one that's picked Lucas Moura. There's a lot of love for Lucas Moura tonight. Maybe these guys know something that I don't. And they expect him against Aston Villa. I mean, yes. But I just think that Aston Villa are going to just be quite defensive in that game, and Lucas Moura kind of operates in space. I don't think he's going to get a lot of space. Make a note of this, of course, and mock me if he scores a hat trick. But I just don't think that. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Well, it's funny you say that about Lucas Moura, because obviously that game away to Ajax when they won 3-2. It's just an insane game of football.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best games I watched last season, apart from the result. But Lucas Moura, just like you said, he seems to operate in that space, and Llorente seems to get the best out of him, and on the counter attack.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if Aston Villa take the game to Spurs and they play a high line, then Lucas Moura could easily be getting two, three goals. But if Aston Villa sit back and they're playing counter-attacking football against Spurs, then I don't know. I think it's going to be quite a one. I think it's going to just be Spurs passing the ball around the Aston Villa defence. That's what I can see. Deulofeu, were you a fan of Deulofeu, Dan? I think he's a good pick. He's striker this year. Home to Brighton, sorry. And we've got Bournemouth. You got Wilson and King double up, which is again, we talked about Block FPL, another one that ended up was in the top 50. I think he finished 52nd or something like that. Wilson and King. I mean, he's been advocating doubling up on Bournemouth. You know what? I wouldn't triple up on Bournemouth, but I would consider doubling up on Bournemouth. And Wilson and King are good shouts in my opinion. So I think that's a pretty solid team.
Because I'm going to Bournemouth next week, so maybe I could spy on their training and see how Wilson and King are doing. But
I just want to quickly say that we have got some people waiting to come in before they. So
excellent.
If you're listening to the show on your podcasts, Paul, I'm going to drag you in. Can you make sure, please, that you have muted the podcast, because it's really off-putting when you hear the echo. So I was going to give a few seconds, and we'll drag him in and we'll ask him some questions. I think we did look at. Did we look at Paul's team? I think we did, didn't we?
Haven't looked.
There's Paul's team. Yeah. It was one with Louis. Yeah, the two Spurs. So let me just bring in Paul and we'll talk to him. Paul Gray, you're live on the FPL call-in. Welcome to the stream. Can you hear me okay? Hello, Paul. Are you there, Paul?
Sanders Michael?
I want to know about your double Spurs and what you know that I don't. And 5, 4, 3. Okay, Paul's not there. Okay, Paul, I'm going to put you back in the waiting room. Vince Chapman is also in chat. Let's see if we can bring him in. Mr. Vince Chapman, are you there?
Hello, buddy. Let me just close this one. Hello. I can hear you.
Good evening.
Oh, Paul's mic's not working.
I can hear you both.
Paul's mic's not working at the moment. All right, Paul. Try and sort it out and we'll have you on. If not tonight, then another night. Steve-O will probably be doing one tomorrow, knowing him. But yeah, so Vince, can you link us the latest version of your team by any chance?
I'm not up to date in those ways, so I can only tell you online, or I can tell you by voice.
Okay, go on. So has it changed much since you last spoke about it?
Yeah, it changed drastically today after I watched City, to be honest.
Ooh.
Okay. So what's changed about your team now that you've watched Man City?
I'm really excited by this team now. So, okay, I'll tell you what it is. It's Pope in goal.
Right.
Everyone's going for Pope.
Yeah, he's a safe pick. Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, okay, standard.
Coleman.
Okay.
Dunk,
okay.
Ooh.
and Robertson.
Okay,
Nice.
yeah, okay, I like it, yeah. So you're going to be playing back 3 or 4?
4-5-1.
You're playing a 4-5-1, okay. Oh, okay, so we know you're back 4 then, so who's your 5 midfielders?
Okay, you ready for this? Salah, Sterling,
Shock.
De Bruyne,
Okay,
Fraser,
yes,
Perez,
I like it.
and King up front.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
I could do Jota. And I'm looking at a way to get in Wilson because I prefer Wilson.
Yeah. It was goal record. I was just thinking, where's Vince got all this money from? We're getting all these.
I know, right?
Maybe you might have to get money out of the defense, wouldn't you? To bring in, well, either that or Kevin De Bruyne, downgrade De Bruyne for Wilson, and then look at getting
Exactly.
getting.
I had Sigurdsson, so I had 8 million there, and I had Wilson up front.
Yeah.
So I got it out of the two of them. It was Wilson and Sigurdsson, or King and De Bruyne.
King and De Bruyne, or Wilson and Sigurdsson. Ooh.
It's very close. I love Wilson.
I like Wilson as well. I do like Wilson. I can see why there's torment. You've got the Sterling. I don't know if you need Sterling and De Bruyne. I'm going to go with King and Wilson. So Wilson, and Sigurdsson. I'll go with Wilson and Sigurdsson. I would probably do because you've already got the cover with Sterling.
But I've been looking at Sigurdsson in my team for so long, and he's just boring me.
Or you could go.
I haven't watched him play.
You could go Fraser and Aguero, couldn't you?
Oh no, I wouldn't go Aguero.
No, why so many people ignoring Aguero? It's like he had a whole season and didn't do anything last year or something.
I think this is his last season for me, really.
Maybe.
His legs are getting a bit older. There's a 60-minute curse. Jesus has got the new number 9 shirt. He's injury prone. Yeah,
well, let's wait and see. I think Aguero could easily be in the minds of many managers come game week 4, game week 5. So people in chat, Ryan McKenna saying Kevin De Bruyne to Sigurdsson and King to Wilson sounds good. Yeah, I think that's probably your move to make. If you are going to do a move, that would be the move.
To be fair, I only need to make 1.5 million, so I'm hoping Ake goes to City, and then that's 5 million defender. That's what I'm praying for.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Or Maguire going to City. Yeah, if he doesn't go
for the game.
Yeah.
But as a United fan, not really.
Well, not but purely as speculation at this stage. So Paul Gray's first year of doing it. Now, Paul, if you are able to sort your mic out, we'll by all means we'll try and get you in. But I do like the team. I do like that powerful 5-man midfield. We talked about it. There's people bigging up the 5-man defense. I've seen people talking about 5-man defense. I think there's more people now moving around to the 5-man midfield. Because of the premium striking options, you can get that King in or even upgrade to Wilson. I do like that team. I do like that team, Vince, and it'd be interesting to see come deadline if you hold true or if you do revert to a different formation, because I think 4-5-1 won't be the most common. It won't be the. I don't think it will be the most common. I don't know. I see a lot of 4-3-3s and 3-4-3s.
Clock FPL, was it 5-2-3 formation?
5-2-3, yeah, 5-2-3.
Yeah, I was just like, whoa.
Not for me. I think it's just showboating for the YouTube viewers. I don't know. I just but
throw all the cash leagues off. Yeah. Can I just tell you my thought on the strikers though? Because the way I see it, the value's not really in the strikers; it's in the midfield and the defense.
Yes.
And the way I'm classing it, Salah, Sterling are strikers for me. So
I completely agree.
4-3-3. Salah and Sterling and King up front.
Yeah,
that's the way.
You've got the 5-man midfield, but you treat the Salah and Sterling. Yeah, absolutely, I completely understand that. I can definitely see the logic, and I'm not ruling out that I'll do a 4-5-1 at this rate, because I've seen some brilliant teams with 4-5-1, and it is going to come down to things like these transfers. Where Ake's going to go, where Maguire's going to go. Are United's defense going to be stronger? Am I looking to make a risk, like do a Dan and take a risk on one or two players, bring them in? Yeah, absolutely.
Dan gambling from the start. I love
absolutely.
It.
Man. Vince. I'm going to be doing some crazy transfers this season.
Thank you. Thank you ever so much. Thank you ever so much for sharing your team. I'm going to just drag you out now and bring in Ray. Hopefully Ray's going to be there. Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, Ray, we're going to bring you in now. Please make sure that your stream is muted.
And please do not swear. We are a family-friendly stream. Fantasy football, family-friendly stream.
Sometimes. Hello, Ray. Sometimes. You're live on FPL Call In. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. Yourselves?
Yeah, we're good, thank you.
Good, man.
Have you posted your team? Thank you ever so much. I much appreciate that. Have you posted your team in the Rate My Team section of Discord at all?
Yeah, just scroll up a bit. It should be there. Just as.
Oh yeah, I see you. Okay, Ray. So I can just about make out the players in it. Apologies for the guys in the stream. If you're viewing on a mobile phone, good luck trying to read some of these team players. But I will read them out anyway, just to help you guys out. So in goal, you've gone with Ryan. I'll let you actually talk through your team. I want to hear your thoughts and your actual opinions of the players you brought in. So start off with Ryan in goal.
So Ryan Button, fairly standard kind of template. Van Dijk, Robertson. I actually don't really want 2 Liverpool defenders, but it's just kind of the fear of missing out in the first game against Norwich. Cathcart. I know Watford aren't renowned for their defence, but Brighton home, they couldn't buy a goal in the last season.
Well, I don't know. Dan's got Glenn Murray. I think he'll have a word to say about that.
Murray found a net against my team, Arsenal, at the end of the season, so
good man.
They probably will start firing.
Okay, so
Coleman, Sigurdsson, good fixtures. De Bruyne, obviously. Just Sterling, just a bit too much, I think. Lucas Moore, probably maybe just for the first week. Salah, obviously. King, good fixtures, and Aubameyang. So what a lot of people do is they look at the big team to see who's the best fixtures. I kind of work backwards, and I think Newcastle are finishing bottom this year. So I'm kind of thinking whoever's playing Newcastle, I'm gonna.
I like that. I like the team. You've gone for a few outside picks there, which I do respect. Like I say to anybody that's going with their gut, and you seem to be going with your gut on this. And the Lucas Moura pick. Now, this is, you may have heard me talk about Lucas Moura earlier on in the show. What is the appeal for you in Lucas Moura at home to Aston Villa, a team that is very, very unlikely to give that much space to the likes of Lucas Moura? What's your thoughts on bringing him in to your team and how he'll fare?
Well, it's first game this season. They're going to be at White Hart Lane. Son's not playing. They're cheap enough, 7.5. I'm actually tempted enough, speaking of going with your gut, maybe downgrade Coleman to Dunk if he goes to Leicester. If I was to bring in Pogba, then I'd have 5 penalty takers with VAR. So,
is there any
something different?
Okay, so this team at the moment is 4-4-2. Now, is there any transfers you're waiting on in particular? I mean, to possibly enable any other players to come into your team. Obviously, we spoke to Vince a minute ago talking about Ake. I spoke about Maguire. There's a few potential moves of Zaha if Arsenal are going to sign anyone. You never know. Is there anyone? I mean, you've got Aubameyang in your team, which I respect as well. I do think Aubameyang is very overlooked, but that's purely because of the money that's in midfield. Obviously, with a lot of teams opting to go with Salah, Sterling, and the lower priced striking options. Is there anyone you're particularly waiting for, or are you kind of set on this?
Yeah, Lewis Dunk maybe to Leicester, like I said, and maybe replace Coleman with him, and I could bring in Pogba for Lucas Moura, and have 5 penalty takers.
Okay, I do think Pogba, he has to prove himself. He played really well today against Leeds, like I said. He's one of those players, Pogba, is so frustrating because when he's on top of the game, he's a world beater. But when he's off the boil, he's lethargic. It's really frustrating, really, really frustrating. But yeah, Dan, have you seen?
Yeah, I'm just obviously as a fellow Arsenal fan looking at the team. I'm just looking at it on my phone at the moment. Actually, yeah, I mean Aubameyang was the joint top goal scorer in the Premier League last season. Let's not forget with Mane and Salah. So another premium striker that's been overlooked. I think, like Vince was saying before, all the value seems to be in the midfield, in the defence. But yeah, some pretty solid picks. Sigurdsson, obviously De Bruyne. A lot of people have been talking up Salah, Moura as well. So yeah, a pretty well balanced team, I'd say. In essence, I was just looking at comments in the chat, and we've had a few comments saying about us ignoring the chat. Guys, we've got people on the radio and in the chat as well, so we're trying to get to everyone as soon as we can. There is only 2 of us tonight.
There is.
So it is true. We're not ignoring you. We're just trying to.
I mean, I'm reading all the comments. I'm reading all the comments, and I'm trying to not be rude and when have people guests on. I'm trying to say I'm trying to save the comments till after we've spoken to the guests that come on the show. So as Dan said, we're not ignoring you. The chat is moving quicker as more people are watching our streams, but especially when Steve-O's back, I will have more freedom to actually read the comments as well out loud.
Yes.
So don't worry, Pascal, we'll get to you.
I mean, Cathcart, just to add to that for the tip, I memean, Cathcart is an interesting pick because he was a bit of a threat from set pieces last season, and he's quite cheap as well. So Cathcart's a good shout as well, I think.
Now, we had a comment in chat a minute ago. You're not worried about Aubameyang being rotated at all?
I'm not. Are you?
I'm not.
He's our best player.
Well, I suppose he is, but it all depends on the signings at obviously Arsenal. But we saw Aubameyang, Lacazette rotated. I think they work best when both of them are on the field. We said that last year. We did see him coming off the bench. I don't think he's going to rotate too much with Aubameyang, to be fair. I think it's important that they start off the season pretty well and get off to a good start. I think Aubameyang's going to be, dare I say it, touch wood, nailed into that position. He can, So Resi Desi says in chat, Aubameyang can be rotated, but I think Emery likes him as well. So Basketball, going back to your question. Hey Jason, Vardy Wilson, Vardy King, King Jota, King Dini, Wilson Jota, Wilson Dini. Am I so damn confused? Which pair will you suggest for the first 4 game weeks? Okay, Vardy Wilson. There you go. Boom.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
That's the pair that I would go with out of all those. With all those suggestions, Vardy Wilson, if I had a choice between them. There you go. But yeah, so going back to your team, I do appreciate you coming on, Ray, as well. So De Bruyne, I mean, did you watch the City game today? Ray, are you there?
Yeah. Sorry, can you say that again?
So you decided to bring in De Bruyne. Did you get to see any of the Man City game?
Yeah, I watched a bit of it today. He set up Sterling's second goal. He looked fairly lively.
I didn't see the game. What sort of position was De Bruyne taking up? Was he quite advanced? Was he centre?
He was kind of central, but just kind of roaming everywhere. He's, he just wants the ball. Sané looked good. I don't know if he'll stay or not. Sterling scored a brace. It's hard to put them all in,
Standard.
But,
so if anyone did have Aguero, and they probably are switching out to Sterling. If
Aguero,
going on that.
I had Aguero a few years ago, and he scored 5 against Newcastle, and I triple captained him. And so ever since, I just said I have to have Aguero every time, but it's just hard,
Yeah, I think Jay captained him that game.
I did.
I remember.
Yeah, I did.
So, I mean, Aguero's just that reliable one, isn't he? Really.
He is, but I do agree. He is getting older, and will he last the minutes? That's the question. Obviously, Sterling there being just a better option on paper. I can completely understand why people are going for him. So Ray, have you got anything else to add in the FPL news you want to bring to the table and share with us? We've just gone for your team. I like it. I would say that Cathcart for me is kind of like one of those picks where you could probably improve on. I'm still undecided on Mora. I would probably downgrade Mora and bring up use the money to bring a Cathcart. Just move him up to another player really.
Yeah, if Haller is cheap enough, I might go Fraser and Haller up top. But it's hard this year,
Yeah, Haller could be a really good pick. And again, it's a lot about FPL is going with your gut and also recognizing players ahead of the curve before the ensuing bandwagon, because everyone chases, well, not everyone, but a lot of people chases the week before's points, and players like Haller. You could easily start the season off a bang. You've got Aubameyang in your team. Could easily start the season with a bang. Lucas Moura, even though he's not a fan, or I'm not a fan of him, I should say. He probably doesn't know who I am, so he's probably not a fan of me. But Lucas Moura...
Well, after what you said about him.
So I respect those picks. I really do. I like your team as a whole. It's a very balanced team. Just if I had to make any picks that I would change, it would be Moura and Cathcart.
Ray, just before you go, how are you feeling about Arsenal's seat? Well, I'm an Arsenal fan as well. How are you feeling about the season coming up?
I've been more optimistic in the past. I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
Me and Dan have got a bet on about United finishing above Arsenal. Last season he won the bet. This season, do you think he's wise to take me up on the bet again?
Well, Arsenal have United's problems, except United have money.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
United, I think United, as it stands, maybe just favourites, but
there we go.
It'll be close.
Give me that £10, Dan. There we go. I'll look back. Thank you very much. But yeah, thank you ever so much for joining us, Ray. It's much appreciated. Thank you for sharing your team.
No bother.
And thank you to everybody as well for joining us. I'll see you soon, Ray. Thank you, Billy. I'll just move you out, okay?
Cheers.
So yeah, guys, we're getting to that point now. We've gone on for well over an hour. Hour and 15 minutes. It was only supposed to be a short stream. Just a quick discussion with you guys to see your thoughts. We discussed a few key points that were brought up in Discord earlier on today. If you haven't managed to grab those sections of the conversation, you can watch this back on the replay. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button and pressing that little bell as well. It'll give you notifications when we go live. You guys are awesome. I've read through your comments, and there's a question why. What is Dereko says in chat? Does anyone know why the Chelsea players aren't in? It's really annoying because I want to know how much Batshuayi and Zuma are. I know FPL, sometimes they're so quick and sometimes they're damn slow. Maybe they can't make up their minds. Maybe they're just trying to work out the best price points. I don't know. Maybe they're just lazy. Yeah.
Maybe they're on holiday.
Maybe they're on holiday. Maybe they are. Yeah.
It is a summer.
Absolutely. But yeah, guys, thank you ever so much for joining us. And Dan, have you got anything final to say? Are we gonna just...
Yeah, no, obviously just like I said, really pleased to see everyone again tonight. Pleased to be back. The three of us will be back together soon. As I always say, thanks for coming by. You've obviously said about comment and subscribe as ever. We're on Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget those two, at Elite FPL. So feel free to connect with us on those social media platforms. But it's all going on the Discord, on the chat every day about the preseason games, about transfers, about draft teams. So get involved. Just download the Discord app and join in with us on there. We'd really like you to be part of that community on there. But feel free to connect with us in any of those platforms. And we look forward.
Very quickly, we've got one more person saying, please, can you rate my team? It's in Discord right now. His name's Nippon Nixon.
What name?
Yeah, so NPN Nixon. We'll quickly do your team. Edison goal, premium goalkeeper. I'm not a fan of premium goalkeepers, but if I was going to get a premium goalkeeper in, it probably would be Edison. So yeah, okay, tick the box for me. Ake, possibly looking between that City move potentially. He's brought in Ake. Decent pickish against Sheffield United. I don't know about the long term, but yeah, certainly I can see why he's got him in. You've got Van Dijk, Digne, and Robertson. God, I almost said it then. Maddison, a player that I hear the name a lot of, but I don't see in a lot of drafts because of obviously you've got the Tillmans, you've got Perez now, and yeah, I think Maddison could be one of those outside moves where you like to pick these players, Dan, don't you? That you feel that you can go with your gut on, and I think Maddison could be one of those players that shine this season again. Salah captain, we don't need to talk about that. We all know that Salah's going to be in 99.9% of all Premier League, fantasy Premier League teams anyway. Sigurdsson, I like Sigurdsson. He's a great pick, and Sterling. Now the interesting one is Jota. Wolves fixtures and obviously Europe as well. There's question marks on Wolves, I think, at the beginning of the season, and Jota now being a forward in the game as opposed to being a midfielder. I did look at Jota. I do like Jota. I do, I think you've got a couple of picks there with Maddison and Jota that could either work really well game week 1, game week 2, or you could get stung, especially for the players that are brought in. Sorry, Dan.
No, I was just going to say we've missed one thing. He's another one that's triple captained Mohamed Salah for the first game week. You can see that there.
Has he?
Yep. Look at the top right hand side.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Why is another one going for it on the first game week of the season?
Triple captain Mohamed Salah.
That is proper maverick.
I'm gonna be paying attention to the statistics game week 1, finding out how many people actually went ahead and triple captain Salah game week 1. against Norwich. It's a very feasible tactic. Obviously, at the start of the season, defenses maybe a bit out of sorts. VAR coming in, anything can happen. I'm predicting it's going to be a crazy game week 1 with a lot of goals. So if that's the case, Salah triple captain, absolutely bang on. If that's what your gut says, do it, and don't let anyone take you off of that. But guys, we're going to say goodbye now. We're not going to do a Steve-O. I know if you're watching Steve-O, you'll agree. You know, we're going to sign off now, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. And take care.
Thanks a lot, guys. See you soon.
Hello there. Welcome to our elite FPL.
Yeah. Pun where Shaw's lights were knocked out. Dan, you may want to turn on your light because you're.
Chat said that Steve-O, if you bench Alonso and he returns, you have to get a history tattoo.
Well, people in chat saying, Jack, before we move on to the elite FPL.
First of all, my name isn't Jack. Right, okay, I'm gonna let Dan speak because it seems to be mainly me and. Go, Dan. Go ahead. What are you gonna do?
It's absolutely fascinating.
Jason, try and just stop.
Right. Okay. Right. I'm